I think that sounds about like we were talking about something right before I hit record. So there we go. Anyway, hashtag free Kaya. R.I.P. in peace, Puffer, who was not seen on the last stream for some reason. I hope nothing nefarious has occurred.
Well, it's really upsetting for Hassan that he had to pay attention to his dog in the stream before that. Where she was like able to walk off of her normal open air cage. Or open
I
air
have
prison,
heard
if
it
you will.
described that way. I would look at it and say it looks much like a military cot, the kind which a refugee might sleep on.
I know that Hassan's not exactly our kind of guy, but I actually empathize with him in this scenario. I've used shot collars on dogs. I have huskies. They can be incredibly difficult to train.
About it, and it's
Well,
like,
here's
of course,
the thing about
I'm
that.
cool, and it's fine.
Here's the thing about that. I agree. Like, I'm a dog person too, and there's a big difference between using a shot collar on a dog appropriately and what he did on fucking screen. Don't let your lying eyes deceive you on that. The fact that she put a paw off the bed, I mean, I get it. A dog will test your boundaries, but when your boundary is sitting inside a little, like a square foot of space for 7 hours fucking straight, get
well,
fucked.
and again, right? I get that, but like, the reality is that streamers are people too, and I don't mean that in like any sort of crazy sense. But he was training her for something. Now, maybe that's something ridiculous, like sitting for 7 hours straight while he streams so that she's a prop in the house. In which case, yeah, criticism's deserved.
And
but
to be fair, it kind of looks like that's literally exactly it.
That does appear to be what it is. But we don't know.
Yeah.
Like I know that he has talked about.
We only have the past to go on, which does include him literally saying that is what pets are valuable for.
We only have exactly what we saw on screen to go on.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I think it's just I'm just saying it's a little premature.
It is. The evidence so far is damning.
Let's assume it is a shot collar, right? Let's assume that it is a shot collar.
Let's go further on this one. Let me help you out with this. Let's go further and just say that maybe he's done it a few times, several of those times of which have just been sort of rediscovered on video. People have actually decided to start paying attention.
Yeah, with context, basically, a number of folks have gone back through things and noticed peculiarities with Kaya's behavior.
I'm not. I have huskies. They're notoriously difficult to train. Now, granted, like his dog seems to be a golden, so that should be pretty easy. But like, I whack my dog on the fucking face. It doesn't mean that I mistreat him. It's that he basically has. I'm not mistreating him in any way, shape, or form. He gets whacked on the fucking face because the rules are very clear. He knows what the rules are ahead of time. The rules have been established. He's 11 years old now, right? He has known what they are his whole life. That does not mean that he particularly agrees with those rules. So he will absolutely attempt to steal my food. He will and if you don't sit there and nip it in the bud, right? Like they will get worse.
No, I agree. And look, I grew up with dogs. Had dogs for plenty of my life, and I agree. You gotta have structure for them, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And it's the thing is, I get where he's upset in that. People saying this. I would be upset too if people said this shit about me, but I'm also not a piece of shit person like he is. And that's the thing that to get you on the empathy side of it is like, yeah, you should have empathy for him as a fellow dog person. And I get that if someone was saying shit about me and, saying I was mistreating my pet, I'd be pretty fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he's legitimately mistreating his dog, which by appearances he is, like he's misusing the shock collar to begin with. Like you don't use that thing unless you're actually doing the training.
Well, to put an analogy out there to kind of explain the situation, I think in a way that makes sense would be, you would, when the dog would get up to your plate and go to take the food, that is when you would give the shock. You'd say no.
Well, it all depends, right? So I had a dog, right, and he got hit by a car, right? We had a shock collar on him to try to prevent that eventuality. We failed, right? So the reality is that some breeds, particularly something like a husky, will run, and you don't shock them. You don't shock them. You're not trying to shock them, just to shock them. They will just take off. You're trying to break whatever they're distracted by, right? Whatever that may be. If you had a pit bull and you put a baby in the room, you just want to break the dog's attention rather than having it go after the baby. That's just the way it is. So, like, I don't, the problem that I have with this whole Hassan thing is, I was vehemently anti-shock collar. I understand why people are like, "Hey, this is cruel and inhumane." Yeah. I get it. I really do. But I've also been on the other end where, my wife literally watched the dog get run over in front of her because even though he would respond to voice commands and come back, he got out. We didn't have a collar on him. We didn't have a leash on him, and he took off and he ran right across the street and got nailed by a fucking car. So, like, yes. And yes, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But you just, like...
It's a dog. You gotta play within its... You gotta work within its limits.
Right. And that dog was, by the way, astoundingly more intelligent than my current dog and had far more impulse control than my current dog. Like, astounding. That dog was scary smart. He was bordering, typically your dog's somewhere around a toddler on the intelligence scale, and he was probably around a 5 or a 6 year old. Like, maybe up to 7. So like, that dog was really smart, and they just don't know what goes on. So there may be a reason. We don't know. He's got a whole life that exists outside of stream. Maybe he's shocking. Maybe there is a specific thing, a specific command, or something that he's working on, and that may be the case.
Well, his command was place, that he was sort of working on. And place was the square foot of patch that she had on her little military cot.
Right. I can understand.
Yeah, I get that part.
Right. I entirely understand. So when I go and I walk my dog, right, he has a command that's return to position, because he'll run the fuck out. He takes a shit and he'll fucking zoom out and try to go across the street, right? So, like, and he will fucking, like, he'll be on the leash and he will be at full sprint and his whole body is swinging around by his neck, because it's just the way he fucking is. It's insane. Like, he uses his neck as his predominant method of stopping after he takes a poop. I don't understand it. I've watched him run at full speed 100 feet just to get stopped by the same cable that's been out there in the yard for his entire life. He knows exactly where the door is. He knows where it stops, and he goes at full speed and uses his neck to stop himself. That's just the way he is, right? So when you turn around and you say, "Hey, I want this dog to be in a specific place," when we walk him, he has returned to position as a command where he is supposed to be in a specific spot. I can absolutely understand, while Hassan's on stream, right? And Hassan has other stuff that he does on stream that's, of questionable safety, right?
Like I think that's fair. And such,
Right. So he's got stuff that's questionable safety, and so it may be a choice that he's decided to make, that he would rather produce content for his stream because it's his income source, and it's an unnecessary or unacceptable risk for his dog, so his dog during the streams needs to stay in a specific spot.
Well, all I've got to say, I mean, just to clarify my point on this, I would say you've convinced me. He's definitely using a shot collar. I agree.
I'm sure he probably is. I'm sure he probably
You've
is.
convinced me. I'm sold on it now.
Well, I mean, actually, I take that back.
Getting to earlier. It's the thing I was getting to earlier is that he's
using a training collar. It could be a vibrating collar.
It's 100%. It's 100% a shot collar.
I think it probably is. Yeah. I think it probably is. 100%. But it could be a vibrating collar. There's also sprinting collars. There's scent-based collars. Right,
that's the thing is these are all possibilities, but the certainty is that he is using a shock collar.
The most
we
likely,
know the model that he's using at this point.
The reality is that most of these things tend to have multiple phases before you get to shock, and most of the time when you're talking about higher end collars, they do have shock as an option, right?
Like this collar does have a vibrate feature. That's fine. Like it's the thing is, it's clear that he used the shock function, and that there's video of him using it several different times across different episodes of his show. Like the thing is, if you're using it to train for a specific command, that's one thing. The fact is, he wasn't using it appropriately, even if it was
back
with
to the
the
analogy,
stated purpose
I
of the
didn't
command.
get to finish actually there. Let me just do that real quickly. I was going to say, it would be, your dog comes in to take the food, you would give the shock when the dog gets near the food. And, hopefully to direct them away from that. Not when the dog is at the door. This would be kind of the dog is at the door. You don't know if the dog's after your food or if maybe they just want a little head scratch.
Well, here's the other thing is an owner that hears a yelp from a dog is going to go and find out what the fuck the yelp is from, unless he already knows.
Also that.
Like, it's the thing is, like, he just said she's being a baby, and he already knew exactly why she yelped. Wasn't
hold on.
Fucking Dewclaw or any of that shit.
Hold on. All right, like,
all right,
dogs will yelp if they get surprised.
Well,
you don't have to hurt them. They will yelp if they get surprised. I agree with your statement.
He knew goddamn well what it was that caused the yelp. That's the thing.
100% that's true. 100% that's true. His lack of but he could turn around and say, and let's say he was using the vibrate function.
Sure.
Right? Let's say he was using the vibrate function, and the dog yelped, because the follow-up to that is shock, right? That's how the training progression goes. She might have yelped in fear. Absolutely normal response for a dog, and he didn't necessarily have to have shocked the dog. I'm just saying that, like, it's always fun to rip on people we don't like, but, like, I don't know. I think there's better things to criticize Hassan about than how he trains his dog.
There absolutely are. I've commented on this a bunch of times in the past few days. Like, of all the shit that he has been involved with, this is it. This is the thing. This is where everybody draws the line.
But that is the thing, though. That's precisely it. That is what it is.
It is. No, it's just
there
funny.
is. Is that there is a thing. Is that the thing that he's suddenly because his main goal, of course, is to become Mr. Popular, and it's rather ironic that the thing that he gets popular for is not his communism takes or his big brain takes.
Oh, he's popular for those too.
That's the thing is he didn't get Fox News spots because of that, which is what he's gotten this time around. Gutfeld making a joke about him shocking his dog's neck the same way that Hunter Biden shocks his penis. That's not something he was getting for his hot communism takes. The whole kill all the capitalists, let the streets run red with their capitalist blood. Like that was not getting him a Fox News spot. And you'll see in one of the pictures I sent you in the staff chat there. That is a screen grab from a Fox News segment on him, and again, it's because he shocked his dog.
I'm not saying that there isn't notoriety. I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just saying that, like, I've owned dogs. I don't think it's unreasonable to use a shock collar on dogs.
There's a way to use it correctly, and then there's a way to just be cruel about it because you're lazy.
I don't think we have evidence to prove one way or the other that it was being cruel. I think that we are asserting motives on an individual who is admittedly kind of a violent human being.
Intentionality to it. Cruelty does not need intentionality; it just needs laziness, and he's clearly lazy.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't. Again, there is absolutely a case where he might not have shocked that dog.
It's
right.
He seemingly less and less likely by the day.
You're still focused on one incident here. You're still focused on one incident here. Yes, you are, because again,
it's not about that instance. He could use this collar all the time, and he may or may not use the shock function. He may sit there and use. That's the thing.
He clearly has used the shock function like plenty of times. Like people, again, I'm saying that there's multiple videos surfacing because people are going back and combing through his video now. And it's clearly evident that he's used this multiple times. And again, you're right about this the idea that there might be something specific that he's training her for. And I agree, that's possible. That's a possibility.
And the thing is,
he cites a trainer, and I agree that a trainer might be telling him what to do appropriately, and then he's just lazy about it and goes directly to shocking his dog.
That could be. There could be. Right? I'm not saying.
I'm not saying
it couldn't be.
That's a certainty, but I am saying he is.
I also know that
the dog.
training a husky, there is no vibrate feature. Right. There's just no vibrate feature. Some dogs do not care if you vibrate. So let's say that he shocked the dog. I'm not saying that he did or did not. I don't know. Right? It's not here nor there. Some dogs, you can use the vibrate feature because they will respond to an uncomfortable stimuli. Other dogs, you need to sit there and fucking shock them because they don't care. They just don't care.
Like with the pit bull, you kind of have to have some kind of choker collar or chain collar or shocker collar or something unless you have been.
Yeah, we're talking about a guy whose stated belief is that dogs or pets in general are a prop for the set.
Yeah, that is.
I'm not saying that there isn't a terrible, awful case where he's a bad human being, and that's just the entire explanation.
No, I get the devil's advocate here is that maybe it was an actual legitimate use, and I agree there is the possibility. I'm just saying that again, he has clearly used this shock collar inappropriately multiple times on video on his show, and that's just really sad.
And now to be fair,
is that the worst thing about him? Probably not.
Now, to be fair, from what we are to understand, he does have a grudge here. This is personal. I don't know if you're aware, but as people have been digging through.
He's Muslim.
No. Actually, no. It's actually personal, not just a religious matter. You see, some years ago, Hassan was streaming, and he shared it would be an anecdote, but it was a story of something that happened in his life.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'll just read the paraphrased one and throw a link up for everybody so they can just watch it themselves, and hear it in his own words. But anyway, giant fucking pit bull. We're hooking up again. He's talking about a woman that he's
You're hooking up with a giant pit bull? I know you were into furries, but like...
Dude, my name's not Hassan. What are you talking about? I'm talking about Hassan right now.
You just said you were hooking up with a giant pit bull again.
I just said I was quoting Hassan. Mm-hmm. So you thought I was Hassan. Why did you think that?
It wasn't a rapper, was it?
I don't understand. I don't even sound like Hassan, dude.
How do I know? I haven't actually watched his show.
Well, I don't either, but you haven't seen any of the clips?
No, not really.
Wow, okay.
I watch them. They come across my X feed, and my X feed plays on silent.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, anyway, Hassan says this giant fucking pit bull, we're hooking up again. I'm right there. I'm crossing the finish line, and this dog literally jets into my asshole. And, of course, I'll throw up the link for anybody that wants to hear Hassan say that in his own words. If, even you don't trust my word on it. But, yeah, he's got a personal issue with dogs, aside from the whole, Muslims viewing dogs as property and then, him viewing dogs as property in his own statements. It's just, he's got a reason to, hold a grudge against dogs. What can I say? It's almost like he's Haitian or something.
Now, speaking of holding grudges.
Go on.
California. So,
okay, go on. There's a whole bunch of ways we can go
plan.
Here.
There's a redistricting plan. And there's mail-in ballots.
There are.
And if you vote against that redistricting plan, the no vote shows up through the punched hole in the envelope.
That it does. That's a very interesting feature they've decided to include there.
Isn't that an interesting feature? The envelope has a punch hole in it. In the signature area.
Okay.
Yeah, in the signature area. And for the one hole, the one closer to the edge, if you vote no on the redistricting plan in California, then it will show up in the hole and it's plainly visible from the outside. And there's two orientations you can put it back on the envelope, or there's four orientations, obviously. There's one orientation of the three where it is plainly visible through the hole, and it is basically the one that you're directed to put it in with. They give you the instructions how to put shit back in the envelope. It's like that's which is largely irrelevant. But basically, like it necessitates putting an additional piece of paper in there to block it, or to figure out another orientation to put the thing back in the envelope.
Yeah.
And so it's just
layer.
kind of ridiculous. And again, this is one of those. It's just that stupid mail-in ballot shit again. They find a way every time to fuck it up for everybody.
Almost like it's intentional. Oh, but on that note,
we
should probably give an update to one of the companies I honestly kind of expected to hear from at some point, but I guess we ran under the radar. Dominion. They've been up for sale of late, and a buyer has been found. A friend of the
had $1 billion, right?
If you got it, but somebody did. So it's looking like allies of Trump have picked up Dominion voting systems.
Cool. Now they should liquidate it.
I would have no issues with that. None at all.
I mean, people will say, "Oh, but you should use that to your advantage." There it is.
I think that they should utilize it to its maximum capacity. They shouldn't do anything nefarious, right?
No need
they should just turn around and advertise who they are, how they're allies with Trump, how they're a big fan. They've bought Dominion, and Dominion voting systems
we're gonna make it
whatever
fair.
States. Like, you just turn around and that's all you do. We are going to make sure it's fair and secure and all the other stuff. You advertise the shit out of it, the left will lose their fucking mind.
Actually,
all of a sudden you'll be like, no, you were okay with it in 2020.
You guys misunderstood what I was saying there. By liquidating it, I mean they should go in and say, they should pull it apart piece by piece and say, look, we actually have evidence for how they fucked shit up. I think that would be...
Well, I think that would be good information to share with the people that are responsible for, investigating them.
Because the immediate response to that by the left is going to be, see, Trump's trying to rig elections.
I know.
Which would be the funniest fucking thing. Which I understand was part of the end point of yours. I was just saying, like, you should go in there and just pull it apart. But the difference is not to advertise it as we're going to use it, but instead to make them sit there and fearmonger that it's going to be used, like, persistently, and to show that this is not happening on that front. Just like, okay, look, you guys can go ahead and squeal about the shit you've already done in the past and self-report to your heart's content. But it's the high road side of it. I think that would get them. It would be so much cheaper to do it that way, because you don't have to spend any money on a media blitz. They do it all for you, which frankly was the major power behind his first election. Like, his first campaign, he way underspent Hillary Clinton, largely because the MSM was happy to advertise for him.
There was quite a bit.
So I think by publicly pulling that company apart down to its pieces and selling off the pieces and showing where and when malfeasance occurred, I think that by itself would buy him more than enough coverage just from a bunch of yapping heads crying about stuff. Because, I mean, look, we just had Don Lemon do a street interview where he tried to say that doing a crime isn't doing a crime. A misdemeanor isn't a criminal act. Fucking retard. That's the level of intellect that's going to be behind saying shit like, Donald Trump's trying to rig the election. How? He took the company apart.
He's going to go in for another 8 years, actually. Don't you know?
Exactly. Like, he's not one. I mean, the first thing I would be pointing out is he's not even fucking running. But, like, it would just be great to see shitheads like Don Lemon come out and be like, he's rigging the election. It's like, all right, how is that happening? The company is literally defunct and being liquidated for assets. Like, they're just trying to scrap it right now. How is he possibly going to be doing what you claim already happened, I guess?
Oh, I've found an NPR article. I'll link that one because I know it's going to be the most smarmy and upset.
Like, there's also the massive amount of money they made suing Fox News. Like, where the fuck's that money going?
Sure enough. Where did that money go? Actually.
Yeah.
You know, where did that go? Did it disappear into the ether like the billions in gold that was under the World Trade Center?
Did it end up inside Hunter Biden's crack whores? Who knows?
Who can say? Yeah, it's just a mystery. Of our time.
Friends of Trump could probably say no.
Oh, speaking of mysteries,
I mean, did it end up in a golden parachute?
It's possible.
That's a good question.
Possibly one even made literally of gold. At this point, very little would surprise me.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking of surprising, let me see if I can find the clip here, because there's a recent debate, I believe, in Virginia. There's a fellow down there by the name of Jay Jones, and he's had some. Well, he shared some thoughts that are
some spicy comments.
Yeah, you could say that. Some, like, you know, it's only that he wants his opponent to literally be shot dead, and for his opponent's children to be killed in their mother's arms. You know, just, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't just the one guy. It was.
It's so bad. It is so bad. Let me remind that I can't even say friends of the show. They hate my guts and have me blocked. Every town for gun safety has pulled their endorsement from him. That's how bad this is.
Now, the funny thing is, his running I'd say his running partner, the person who's going to employ his ass after potentially getting in, what's her name? She hasn't denounced him yet. And she got called out by Winsome Sears in that debate.
And that's,
which was
I just found it. Now, the clip that I have is mildly edited, but only mildly, because there is actually 30 seconds of dead silence where she just doesn't answer. She's expecting somebody to say something like, we're moving on to the next question.
So I kept seeing this clip. What did she actually say?
Hold on. I'll just play it for you here. Let me...
Because I know there was a guy that wished death upon his political adversaries.
Yeah, but...
Here we go.
The woman...
I'll play the clip for you directly.
Just, I want to know what she actually said.
Yeah, hold on 1 second here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the silence was deafening.
Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race, Abigail? You have nothing to say?
I cannot hear it.
What if he said it about your...
Okay, you can't... Hold on. Let me see if I can play it through my...
Basically, she's like, you know, what if he said that about your kids, Abigail? Or do you have nothing to say? And she didn't have shit to say.
Oh, yeah, shit, I can't actually pump it through.
She just looked ahead and looked uncomfortable.
I can... hold on. I got this.
Very, very sad. I had to go out and buy pork loin.
Do it, and then you would say he needs to get out of the race, Abigail? You have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your 3 children? Is that when you would say he should get out of the race, Abigail? You're running to be governor, Miss Earl Sears. I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's life being taken.
This is all in real time.
Have you nothing to say about that? Are you not going to address it? Really, you can't go any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to stand up for all the people. Are you saying political murder is all right? Have some political courage. What you have done is you are taking political calculations about your future as governor. Well, as governor, you have to make hard choices, and that means telling Jay Jones to leave the race.
But, yeah, that's...
Didn't have shit to say.
I just don't, what did she say that, I understand that people are reacting to something. What is it?
Okay, well, what Jay Jones said, quite literally, it was that. He was having a conversation with a friend or a supporter, and he quite literally said that he wished that his opponent, Gibson, I think? I can't remember exactly.
Okay, so that was the male. So what was the female then?
Female is the person who's running for governor, the person who's going to employ his ass.
Yes.
Winsome Sears is the woman you heard talking
I see.
about.
Okay, so that's the relationship between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winsome Sears is the one you heard talking, and Spanberger is the one who's running for the governor who would employ Jay Jones.
Oh, and she has
Spanberger is the one who had nothing.
And what is Jay Jones supposed to be? Like, what's his role supposed to be?
DA, district attorney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can
the guy who's supposed to be the chief public officer.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Kind of a bit. And so first off, we've got Everytown that, like, I mean, come on, people. If Everytown is coming out and saying no, you've really you've gone so far past the line. Because, oh wait, no, that wasn't Everytown, that was Brady. But a reminder, Brady did put out an ad. It didn't last. It only lasted about a day because people realized. But it was a picture of a woman with her head in her hands, looking regretful. And let me see if I can remember the exact text. A rape is temporary. A murder is a lifetime. Brady
that's pretty
for gun control.
Fucked up.
Yeah. Oh man, goodness. It's like just like, but I mean, it's the same people. You know, between the two of them.
Jesus Christ.
So that's a pretty great one.
Right?
Well, you know, that kind of reminds me of the what was it, that show?
The Man Show?
What the show was. No. It was a show. They Planned Parenthood like co-wrote the script or whatever, and it's like some woman who has just unapologetically aborted her kid, and like the guy's overreacting, and it's supposed to show like the pain of women or whatever, and it's like no, this woman's a psychopath, and it's not something we should endorse. I don't know. I'd have to go look it up.
Oh, speaking of psychopaths, I mean, we're a little bit into it, but it's probably kind of worthwhile to mention since, friend of the show, Don Treasy, kind of made a little something happen that people have been talking about for a little while. They've been saying free this place, and it might just be here very soon.
Notice that
I'm hearing a lot of the usual suspects. No, I'm not hearing the usual suspects. I'm hearing a lot of fucking crickets. I'm hearing a lot of folks that aren't saying a goddamn word about.
No. They're saying a lot of words. They're saying a ton of words about it. They're just saying the same words because it wasn't about that, was it?
Never was.
No, that wasn't about peace. It's about killing. And speaking of killing, I got a couple of things that to bring up on that. One from last time, I forgot to mention it.
Sure.
We had so much else we were talking about. So there was a couple of stabbings that happened in the UK for Yom Kippur. You'll never guess the name of the guy who did it.
Traditional English name, I'm gathering?
Yeah, Jihad. Literally.
Yes.
Yeah. It's fucking Jihad.
Yeah, literally.
Subtle, right?
Literally I was going to go with Beowulf, but, you know.
His name's fucking Jihad.
Yeah.
A traditional brisk English name, Jihad.
As you will.
So he decided he was going to start stabbing people outside of synagogue for Yom Kippur. That was going to be how his day was spent. Piece of filth. But in the same line of things, closer to home here in O-Town, a couple of fucking Brazilian Trenda Aragua members just got stopped from potentially pulling off one of the larger events in Florida history. They were going to try and blow up a synagogue in Orlando.
Really?
Wow. That's a bold move.
And the FBI stopped them based off of Project Veritas evidence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So that was, and the text messages were pretty damning. Oh yeah, and by the way, they also ran underage prostitution through a hotel, and the manager.
You don't say.
Yeah, so that was the main sting there was to destroy their sex trafficking business through a hotel for minors. The text message, of course, I'm 16. Is that going to be a problem? No, we just need your ID and passport. Manager staff helps us out. It's like, oh well, that's so wholesome.
I wonder if they were getting any of that.
The other side of it,
any of that hotel money that's out there for grants for foreigners.
On the other side of that was, we're finally going to kill those damn Jews. Just like it seems kind of incongruous, but then again, with the way that they've been cozied up with Hezbollah, makes unfortunate kind of sense.
Oh, I have got something. It's not breaking, but it's breaking as of today, just 4 hours ago. By way of the New York Times, no less. It would seem that they've published something recently that inadvertently has proved Letitia James has indeed committed systematic fraud while attempting to launch a defense on her. I'll throw a link
That fucking shithead.
Yeah, there's something out of white collar fraud here. Let me find the link and throw that on there for everybody.
The fact is,
New York Times created
she's
an
so
unsolvable
blatantly.
trap. How a media defense.
She's
proved...
so.
Oof.
Oh, dude, sorry. Go ahead. I was just gonna say she's so blatantly she so fucking did this, and it's so obvious by her own evidence.
Sure enough, yeah. How the media defense proved Letitia James fraud. How it started, the mathematical impossibility. The New York Times.
Wasn't it like she fundamentally changed the numbers of the units? Like on top of the principal versus...
She claims...
yeah.
She claims...
property was supposed to be in a value of 100 to 150,000. The other with 100 to 150,000. No, 100 to 150,000. The other 150,000.
She claimed rent in her taxes, and her niece, or whoever it was, I think it was her niece, who was staying there, claimed she never paid rent. So she claimed income fraudulently in her taxes as well.
And listed it as an investment property via her New York State taxes.
Wait, so
while
she didn't
filing,
claim...
While
she
filing
claimed
also,
that she got income that she didn't actually get.
Something like that.
So
her relation admitted to never paying rent and being a person who was domiciled in the
Why is that a problem?
Because Letitia James claims she was the one who was. Letitia James claims she was the one who was primarily domiciled there.
Yeah, she had it listed in that state as her primary resident, while still being, Letitia James doing the Attorney General thing in New York City.
Like she could, the majority of the year you have to be there to be the primary resident and domiciled, and she was. You can't do that in two places at once.
She was just letting a friend live there for free, basically.
And the friend, of course, turned out to be a family relation.
That, yeah.
It's a
problem.
Yeah, she fucked up so hard.
She did. So the two things, which she is,
and again,
she has been
don't get me wrong,
for,
like
bank fraud.
No, it's good to get it right.
As an individual who owns a rental property, right? I went in to the negotiation. I was going to be in my primary residence. Obviously, I was going to, have time here at my current house, but I was actually planning on living there for about a year. That was what I intended to do. And then my tenants were like, "Hey, I've got a $4,000 bill. What you going to do about that?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And I'm not going to touch it. And so I contacted the lender, and I said, "Hey, I can't live there right now because this guy has a $4,000 bill he wants to stick me with as part of like moving in as his roommate." He was also supposed to leave. Like, that was kind of the thought process, but then of course with I was the lowest rent in the round, so like he never left. Mm-hmm. So like I understand having like filing for the mortgage as your principal residence, and like shit happens and it doesn't work out for you.
Yeah, I think shit happens for her it became inconvenient.
Yeah, the shit happens for her was, well, but I'm the AG and I have to live in New York City, so. And that's...
The only thing I could see there is that on her state income taxes, because if you're doing New York taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
you have the state income portion, and then you have the if you're in one of the 5 boroughs, it's like Yonkers and Yorktown and all those other stuff down there by the city. Those have their own special income tax on top of the rest of the state income tax.
Oh, of course
so she may have turned around and claimed that she, on her state income taxes, that she was in this other area that's not in the 5 boroughs, and so therefore doesn't have to pay the extra, it's not a huge amount. It's like 1.5%, 2.5% income tax or something like that.
I'm sure it's not a huge amount until you have to pay it.
I mean, that is a possibility. Not the case here, but yeah, that is a possibility, in other situations.
Well, that's what I'm trying to, in terms of her income tax, where could she have been committing the fraud? I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, this one's not been brought by tax attorneys or anything. This is just the Eastern District of Virginia. So it's a bank fraud statement and a false statements to financial institution. And that's just a grand jury indictment. Obviously, it would need to go on further to a jury trial or what have you. And what she did basically, she had a second home rider that was for the purposes of Virginia, saying that her New York home was a second home. And then for New York, she has a filing basically the same, stating that her other home is her secondary home. The problem with both of those is they're listed as owner-occupied for non-seasonal use, meaning that this is an all the time. I'm just here all the time. This is where I am all the time, like where I am, me in my house. It's just this is where I am generally. And owner-occupied, no less, to get more favorable tax rates. And then also listing it as a rental property, the second one, because a person that wasn't her was living there, which you can't do both, yet she was. To put it in really dumbed down terms.
She lied. It was stupid.
And then basically everything from there, with the other person being there, that utterly shuts down the owner-occupied non-seasonal use thing completely. And, just reading from here. The family, Nakia Thompson and her children, have lived at the address ever since 2020, according to 2 people familiar with the home, and until this week being, oh goodness, just earlier this year. This week, the plan for more placid existence had largely gone as expected. Several times a year, the people said a great aunt who had purchased the house in 2020 with Miss Thompson in mind would come for an extended stay. The article continued. But in June, Miss Thompson testified to a grand jury in Norfolk that she had lived in the house for years and that she did not pay rent. A person with her
that was the thing.
Testimony said she was not asked to testify
testified
again.
To the grand jury.
Mm-hmm. And the grand jury that voted to indict Miss James was not seated in Norfolk but Alexandria. And the Times emphasized that James wasn't profiting from the agreement. Miss James pays even for basic upkeep. So we have no rent. She visits occasionally and pays upkeep. So basically, she's housing a family member, to put it in the simplest of terms.
Which isn't illegal.
No, nothing wrong with that, in and of itself. But
yeah, that's the thing.
When you have someone that's not paying rent, and you are listing on your rental property thousands of dollars in rents received, that can be problematic.
I just don't understand why you do that, because then you'd pay taxes.
Well, she's obviously not a very smart woman. I can't put it any more simply than that. Like, she has done some really dumb and very vindictive shit. It seems like she put together the Trump case because it's like, you know what? Hold on. How am I doing this again? He's got to be doing the same thing I am. Fuck it. We'll put that down. I mean, really, it kind of seems like it's just everything that she spelled out is exactly how she does this. That's basically it. Anyway,
She dumb.
Yeah. So I'll throw a link to the whitecollarfraud.com article that came out just today. It's quite thorough.
That's a name. That is a name.
Truly. But in other interesting news, Something that also happened just recently, not breaking, actually, this is from 2 days ago, but there was a reduction in force notice that was sent out. As a matter of fact, not a reduction in force notice. There were many thousands of reduction in force notices that were sent out amongst at least 7 separate departments. Not furloughs. No. Terminations. Terminations of employment. Sorry, guys, we can't afford you. Old Chucky, he's like, hey, we don't have the money to run the government. Well, okay. All right, Chuck.
So that's the thing is, in addition, the peace deal between Hamas and Israel happened during a fucking shutdown. That's like the second peace deal during the shutdown. This shutdown.
So as an individual who is a contractor for the government, right now I'm not furloughed yet. We typically maintain somewhere around a month of operating expenses.
Yeah.
But we are chewing through that month. And so the last time I've been, there have been rifts, there have been furloughs in the past. Historically, it doesn't typically get to the furlough stage. Like the last time,
right?
I think it was, I can't remember whether it was I remember one under Trump, and then I think there was, I can't remember when the Obama one was. When was that? What year was that?
That was like 2013.
That was 2013. Okay, so that would have been the year before. Or the prior to the previous one. So the last one, I
got fucked on that one.
The last one was 35 days, right? And so we had our prime contractor. So I'm a prime contractor. I was a subcontractor then. The prime contractor stepped up and said, "We are going to front the salaries for everyone. We understand that we'll get reimbursed in the end, so we're going to front the salaries. You don't have anything to worry about. We'll reevaluate this in 90 days, right? Because they operate quarter to quarter. What the fuck do they care about a 30-day halt in money coming in? Exactly. And it's not like it's a contract. It's a guaranteed contract. So that was how that was. Right now, the prime contractor is a different prime contractor this time. Has not stepped forward and made that kind of a statement. So we are all kind of holding our breath as to what ends up happening. We don't know when the tightening of funds will happen and then when the furloughs will happen. The last time a RIF happened that is in working memory is like the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was late 90s or early 2000s or something like that. There was a government shutdown where they went into a RIF. And that was a while back. So typically most people are not used to this kind of stuff happening over a long period of time. Though this one feels different, and like Evan pointed out, right, the peace deal happened regardless of whether or not the government was shut down. So I remember
that was a major point.
Yeah, and I think there's two things that I'm always watching the messaging on these two guys, on the Dems and the Republicans. And the Dems came out with a classic, it's the Republicans' fault, which they are the executors of the government, and so they are technically correct. I understand that, the Democrats didn't do that, but the Republicans could compromise on the Democrat bill, just like the Democrats could compromise on the Republican bill. But
see, that's the thing is, at the end of the day, it is the faults of 100 people.
Yes.
And those 100 people are in the Senate.
Yep. 100%.
And they can sit there and cry about which, the Republicans can say it's it's 7 Democrats' fault for not agreeing with us 53 Republicans, and it doesn't fucking matter because it's still 100 people that vote on it.
Yep, 100%. So but what's amazing to me was the Democrats came out with that to start, and then they started with a rather classic thing of we want health care. And that's kind of like classic Dem lines. And the Republicans countered that with they don't want healthcare for illegal immigrants. And I sat there and I looked at the two things and I'm like, this fucking shutdown's going to be over in like a week and a half because the argument the Republicans are making is fundamentally convoluted, right? It has to do with the fungibility of money, and that's a great argument.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's
a very
valid,
intellectual argument.
Exactly that.
Not something that's going to resonate with average and below average individuals.
It's exactly the kind of thing we get into the weeds with here.
Right, exactly. So not something I'm expecting.
That's the thing, though, is the messaging is on point enough because one of those shitheads on the other side of it admitted in a wonderful soundbite that they're gonna fund healthcare for everyone. Right after being asked, does that mean illegals? And it's just like, well, that was not smart. That was shit calculation.
Right. But I mean, still, the argument the Democrats were making as a counter, or the argument the Republicans were making to counter the Democrats' claim on reinstituting Medicaid and Medicare is a convoluted finance argument. And it's true. It's just a convoluted finance argument.
Oh yeah, right?
It doesn't hit the feels at all. It sounds It sounds like it could be convoluted, but it's actually pretty easy to make the case to the average American. That is, why are we paying for illegal aliens?
But it doesn't hit you in the feels like a lot of the arguments that get made.
It does if you're trying to pay for shit and you're still dealing with Obamacare. If you're sitting there and you're paying, if you go to the hospital and you pay money, and an illegal alien shows up and doesn't pay money, that is the easiest comparison to make.
And that's what's amazing to me is I agree with what Craig is saying. Like, the Republicans have managed to land a hit on what was arguably a complex fiduciary position. Right? It might be a true fiduciary position, but it's still a complex one, and something that I did not.
Fine. I agree with that part.
I did not believe the American voters would coincide with that. I thought that they would cave. And then the Obamacare thing, they didn't even message on it for the first week, which was actually smart. They just didn't they waited until they came up with something that resonated. And then the second week they came out double-barreled with, we told you 10 years ago this was going to happen. You passed a failed fucking bill. You didn't listen to any of us the entire time. Why would we keep it going? And I mean, that's music to my ears. Granted, the Republicans have failed to do anything on the ACA on their own.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing elected, I don't like where Trump has come in, because just remember last time Trump got elected, he said, "Yep, repeal and replace." And what did we get? Fucking
nothing.
Bullshit.
Fucking nothing.
Exactly.
And then not only that, every single time the Republicans have enough of everything, they come up with all these great ideas that they have for healthcare, and they pass none of them every single time.
Yeah. Sounds great, guys.
But
Let's do it.
It is still quite the punch to turn around and go to Democrats and say, you passed this without us. Why would we help you keep it going when it has failed yet again? We can't just continue to subsidize your mistake. And I was like, holy fuck. How the fuck that's is balls, it that that's balls for a fucking argument for them to make? And so the point of this whole thing is
brass balls. Finally, I'm glad. Yeah, finally. But I need to see it. Actually, I need to see the action on this. My favorite part is this makes them look like they're actually doing something when all they have to do is nothing. And frankly, the Republicans have been great at doing nothing for a while. So this is finally playing.
Well, I mean, and that's what's amazing to me is that they seem to have that argument bought them cards. And I remember the Dems were sitting there and saying, look, most people blame the Republicans for the shutdown. And like I said, right, executor of the government.
Okay.
Right? But there's two parts to that. It doesn't matter who gets blamed for the shutdown if nobody cares that the government shut down. And I think that's the.
They're showing a fantastic way. They're doing a great job showing for the average everyday person just how much a shutdown actually matters in their life.
Well, and that's the thing.
The average person it doesn't.
I remember the 2013 one, and Obama was actively trying to make sure that you saw that the parks were shut down and all this was shut down. All that was shut down. And it was this thing to show how important it was to keep the government open. And the Trump approach has been, fuck that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm terrified, right? I'm terrified from a financial perspective. I've had to do how much money do we have in the bank? What is this going to mean? And obviously with Robin being pregnant, that's a whole separate other. I have real concerns, but
of course,
I am amazed. I am amazed, and I don't think it's going to be over quick. And like it's been a topic of discussion every night, and it's like, this one seems different. Everybody is kind of the opinion this one seems different. I think part of the reason this seems different is the Republicans are demonstrating the government does nothing. Yeah. For a lot of people, right? Like, and then, for the average American, they go back to work, and it's no fucking different.
To come right now, it's like, wow, okay, maybe there's something to the what these libertarians have been saying.
Yeah,
not the insane.
That's the thing is, like,
just
like it's I gotta tell you, like, I got a lot of friends in the same kind of position that Steve's in, especially on the academia side, and it's still, I mean, I get to, having just gotten out, I get to have the loading position of, wow, guys, that sucks and all, but hey, maybe those private dollars are a little bit better than the fucking government ones coming in on academia.
Yeah,
maybe there's a sustainability issue there when you just rely on the fucking government to give you this money to get the job done. Maybe some of these other projects are worth looking into, because there's something to be said about paying for things that the private sector isn't going to pay for as far as fundamental research. But at the same time, maybe look into something that's got some more power behind it, a little more firepower behind it. Especially if it's gonna be them paying us to do stuff for them later on in private industry, they can, they can fire a little bit of that money back towards us before we get there.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh well.
Well, it's certainly interesting on a go-forward basis right now.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of interesting things moving forward, I've got some other very interesting news. Good news, perhaps. We'll see what happens with it. But out of Rep. Thomas Massey, actual friend of the show, I hope to get him on one of these days. But anyway, he has introduced H.R. 5704, which would repeal the 2013 Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, and it would prohibit dissemination of domestically federal-funded propaganda.
That was an Obozo thing, by the way, just for those listening.
Mm-hmm.
That was Obama, who, by the way, just decided to put his nose back out into the fucking ether.
Yeah, he's shown back up lately. He's had a few things to say.
Yeah, as he shouldn't. That was one of his little things. He decided that it was stupid that we have restrained our federal agencies from lying to the American public and propagandizing us the way that we are capable of doing to foreign publics.
Yeah.
So why not do that here? That's a very Obama maneuver.
Very.
If the regular lying isn't doing good enough, we need that professional government grade lying to get the job done.
Well, if Barack Obama had a son, it would look like the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad that has, or I'm glad that they're trying to get that put back into place.
Should never.
I don't think that that's as significant as like all of the gutting of the funding. And I can't, like, I kind of can't wait to. So I know that Trump was talking about maybe making Antifa an FTO, which would be amazing.
No, it is. That's
in the works now, from what I understand.
Yeah. They're signing off on that soon, I think.
So
that was the thing that he was mentioning that at thing he was signing.
Because there was a summit just a few days ago,
why don't we do that?
Where people we've reported on numerous occasions, other reporters and journalists who've been on the ground with Antifa and assaulted by them.
Yep.
Yeah,
they finally got their voice. They got to be heard by the White House.
Yep.
In the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be if that happens between, like, right now we have the end. Oh, look. Sorry, I saw Batman posted something about furries. I see how it is. In any case, I was
being a big furry himself, right?
Yeah, I know. He's a man of bats.
Spraying them with mace. I support that.
the funny thing is that I don't know how significant the Smith-Mundt Act is when you start talking about dismantling everything else surrounding it. Like the Antifa stuff, I know they've started to talk. People have started to sit there and present where their financing is, which is great, right? For forever and a day, there's been no like. It's always been, oh, it's an idea. It doesn't have any actual structure. And what do you know? There is actual structure. There's people who are funding it. There's money that's going there.
Sure enough.
So, I think the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act is going to be a shamey. I think the CIA is going to do what the fuck the CIA wants to do.
Well, of course it is.
Like that's nothing more than just being like, yeah.
That's nothing out of the ordinary there.
Don't do that. Don't do that, shamey. Yeah, okay, sure. Like they fucking care. But yeah, I think all the rest of the stuff. I think it'll be a very interesting 2028 election. I think 2026 may be interesting, but I think 2028 will be very interesting.
2026 is going to be a little interesting. We're going to see just how well they can carry forward momentum from the shutdown, and from the peace deals. I don't know if you saw the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize dedicated.
Yeah, I saw that.
Reception to Trump.
That's really cool. That's
the funny thing was all the talking heads saying, "Oh, that never, all the things that happened, that never happened. This never happened the most." It's like she posted it. It's fucking right there. You guys are just you're swinging and missing. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Now that being said, like
Machado
again
spoke with the BBC, as a matter of fact.
I do not understand why sometimes we can get an amazing Trump and then sometimes you can get whatever. He had another press conference.
He puts foot in mouth. Yeah.
No, he put out a Truth Social post that was retarded about how Biden's DOJ put 275 agents at J6, and you're like, bro, you were fucking president then. Like, come on.
Well, you see, that's the thing is he has a point.
He's not wrong, but you're also not wrong.
He has a point. I agree. He has a point.
But it's not what he should be making right now.
But still.
Right.
Exactly. He should not have been making that point right now because especially right now when he's clearly the one who's in charge and there's no question in the average guy's mind. Like he's speaking of the complexity kind of stuff you mentioned before there.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's one of those
going
really
for more
easy
than
to get lost in the weeds kind of deals.
If you're going for more than first order thinking, then it's just.
Oh, and you know what else is easy to get lost in the weeds? Your government records. No, I know it sounds like I'm going into a sponsored bit here. Not at all. I wish I were. No, I'd like to talk about something that happened in South Korea. So, yeah. So you want to back up your data, people. You want your data to be backed up in multiple places.
Imagine not following 321 as a fucking government entity alone, let alone the whole of the fucking government.
Yeah.
The whole of the fucking government is just.
So the original story, as of the 6th of October, is, let me see here, potentially up to 858 terabytes of government data could be lost.
Which,
maybe.
By the way, that's a lot of dolphin porn. They finally beat Jim.
Yes. So what happened is on 26th of September, there was a big-ass fire at one of the government buildings in the city of Daejeon, I believe. It's not a Google thing. It's their own private product. Every worker has their own little folder or whatever with apparently 30 gigs of space. And, of course, there was a battery fire that occurred there, and it was thought that, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Yeah. A single battery setting on fire. Let's see here. As of September 30th, 15% of services had been restored. And, of course, the update now from the 8th is, the G drive couldn't have a backup system due to its large capacity. And
Bullshit.
It would appear that, based on the way everything was set up, it's gone. Goodbye.
Well,
Yeah.
Goodbye 858 terabytes of data, unless you want to pull in all of your resources and forensically reconstruct all of it. That can be reconstructed, no less, because
yeah,
money's
you're
just
looking
going to be
at
fucked.
after a major fire,
Yeah.
you're probably looking at like 20% at most,
Yeah,
if that's possible.
if you're lucky.
And that's just data that is definitely reconstructed, not that it means anything.
Oh, yeah, it might not even be contiguous data.
It's probably all fragments of files, not files.
Bits and pieces.
So you might get a couple terabytes out of your 858 back.
Yeah.
Which is fucking god awful.
Yeah, bad situation. Bad situation. So remember, folks, back up your data with insert sponsor here.
I mean, and that's here's another thing. Another thing on this. No, on the same line of reasoning here. You know, I would recommend in general. Let's see. There's Dropbox. There's Box.com, Terabox, Gigabox, or whatever the fuck it's the other box one is. Like there's a wide variety of backup solutions.
Servers that you have connected with fucking DSL for fuck's
But here's where I'm going with this. I'm going to a different place here. But you see, Microsoft only wants you to use one backup solution.
That's fucking annoying.
Yeah, this is where that's coming. So they've decided to switch everything in Office to now default save to OneDrive.
The cloud.
That backup solution you never want to use because it's fucking Microsoft. I don't understand how they turn something as simple as what Dropbox does into as fucked up as what Microsoft does. It's such a simple model that a slew of other services were able to copy Dropbox's exact business model without being sued, mind you, because it's so simple. And I guess it just wasn't as you know, because you can patent business models. It's a bit of a different process, but like that's a thing.
Oh yeah, sure. Kind of an Excel kind of thing.
It's so generic. It's so generic and simple that it has been successfully copied so many times. How Microsoft has still failed to recognize what makes it function and execute beyond me. But they have. They've managed to maintain OneDrive as a clusterfuck that's integrated into and part and parcel of the operating system. And yet, still so easy to disable. They've decided that enough is enough of that. You now have to fight against their system actively in order to use their Office product, which also has open source alternatives, like namely LibreOffice.
I'm a big fan of OpenOffice, but yeah.
Yeah. No, same shit. And it's now defaulted to OneDrive, and thank God, I guess, over there in South Korea, they weren't using OneDrive.
They were not.
Dude, 858 terabytes. That's so much to lose at once.
That is a lot of data.
No redundancy, no backups. Just like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And the excuse was we had too much data to back up. Just you guys send better.
Yeah, that's mighty unfortunate. Mighty unfortunate. You know what else is unfortunate? Roblox. That's all.
Has there been any more news on that?
Of course there's news. You can just scroll down to the bottom of show ideas. There's been something that showed up just yesterday.
Oh no. Well, let me stop dying in the game here.
But what's happened here is somebody that,
Right.
I don't know if I like to use the term somebody because it infers that the person is a person.
Somebody.
Like a human being. But what happened is somebody was fucking with
Our children are not safe on Roblox. Really? Thank you, Kentucky. Oh my God.
Yeah. So what happened here is somebody made a skin for their model in Roblox out of a screenshot of a person that they harassed into actually physically hurting themselves. and and put a tag on the shirt. Now the screenshot that I'll share is censored, thankfully. The photo in game.
I see the thing above it from road catchers.
Yeah, that's the one. And the tag on the shirt or skin was she was underage, by the way. And this is fine. This is just you're cool. You can do that. That's totally okay on Roblox. Totally a-okay. And so, Kentucky has actually taken some steps towards this. Attorney General Coleman has sued Roblox, listing it as the website of choice for child predators. And I gotta say that's pretty accurate. Pretty darn accurate.
Incorrect on that assessment.
Yeah. So as of October 7th, Attorney General Russell Coleman has announced today a major lawsuit against Roblox, popular gaming and social media platform with more than 380 million monthly users, for creating a hunting ground for child predators. Since its launch in 2006, Roblox has knowingly permitted an online environment for exploitation, directly contributing to the widespread victimization of minor children in Kentucky. And honestly, around the world, let's be real, just okay, they've got it in brief here. Attorney General's complaint filed in Madison Court alleges Roblox created a playground for predators and international organizations with links to terrorist organizations.
That it would do.
To distribute child sex abuse materials, become a facilitator for predators to target and groom young children online before escalating to real-world sexual violence, deliberately failed to implement effective safety measures to protect children from well-documented predatory threats, and knowingly,
that word deliberate is important.
And knowingly and intentionally failed to inform parents of the dangers lurking on the platform.
Yep.
And of course, this is from Kentucky.gov. It's got a link to the legal complaint that, if you'd like, you can actually just go in and give that a read. But it's a terrible problem and has been a long time. It's been
plaguing the platform for years.
We've spoken on it, maybe not to the depth that it genuinely deserves.
Well, we gave it, I think, enough. I think we
talked about it here and there, but I mean, it's something that could definitely be gone into. And to that note, if you'd like, the account that I've linked there, Row Catchers, feel free to just give them a follow so that you can keep more up to date on this, because sadly it is, again, quite a rampant issue.
Yeah. Well, I've kept up enough on it, and I think we did cover Roblox sufficiently in the past. I think, namely in that we said, get your kids off it. There's no excuse, no reason to have children on Roblox right now. Like, they just should not be on it. I don't care if, I'll put it like this: Minecraft is easy to keep an eye on your kids. Pretty straightforward. Roblox is more of a built-out platform.
Yeah.
And it's, in my opinion, more dangerous. Not dangerous bike riding dangerous, but child predator dangerous. There's not really
actual literal harm done to children and then boasted about on that platform.
The problem isn't so much the fact that, because wherever you have kids, that's where the kid predators are going to go. That's just the fact of reality.
Mm-hmm.
The major problem with Roblox right now is that they have people who are clearly child predators within their midst, and they are willing to go to bat to protect the child predators on the platform.
Well, as we've discussed,
you cannot have that and have kids on the platform.
There is the thought that the whales are child predators, and they know that. Now, we don't know that, but that is a conspiracy that's kind of floating around there, and damned if it doesn't hold a lot of weight.
So that's the thing is the child predators are within the system there. They're part of the fabric of Roblox. And that is not something that you should be.
Well, to be fair though, right? Roblox is a platform that caters to kids, and child predators will be always wherever the kids are.
This is
right?
exactly
Like fish
what
where the fish are. That's the reality of the
No,
situation.
Which I specifically just brought up, and the point again though is that is a concern you will have as a parent no matter what. The major problem here is that they are protected and part of the platform itself. There are people there who are, if not child predators, are willing to specifically and actively protect child predators. Like part of Roblox, the team is child predators and people who are protecting child predators.
That's not acceptable. Seems like it.
That's not acceptable, and it has to go away before you should let your kid go back to Roblox. It's just that cannot be a part of Roblox and have kids there. Like that access should not be allowed. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, just not safe.
I mean, I got nieces and a nephew, and they are. That's something I'm telling my own family right now is keep your kids off of Roblox. Like I check in and say, are they playing this? Get them off. And thankfully, like they had seen news stories already, more or less. They'd seen. So this shit is a problem. Roblox is going to have to deal with it before they're going to get people back on the platform.
Yeah. Speaking of platforms that have problems to deal with, it'll be fun to see all the testimony that'll be coming up in the upcoming days regarding numerous platforms. But I just saw something that I've never seen anyone mention this to me before, and it is striking. I lack the words. It's so perfect. And it is Hassan Piker is the real life Brian Griffin. I mean, damn. Like,
all right.
Oh, yeah, okay. Like even the womanizing and everything, like all of it. It's just wow. Huh.
You gotta give him too much of an ego if you let him have that, though.
Well, but I mean, think about it this way. You know how he feels about dogs. So.
Yeah.
So, hey, win-win for... Oh, man. Things are...
unfortunate.
Things are wild. Things are very wild these days. Anyway, speaking of wild, the rioters have gone wild. They've got the frogs and the cats and the dogs and the unicorns and the dragons and all that.
And so that memo has gone national. They're now the ones showing up everywhere, which is pretty funny. They think that this humanizes them, and this is how they're going to get out. They have the drive-by media that are going to come in, get their news story, and leave, and then they're going to switch back to killing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, basically Antifa has picked up some new costumes, some of those inflatable animal costumes, as I'm sure.
I have one thing to say to that. Aim for the vents. Aim for the vents. Pepper ball the vents, pepper spray the vents. That is where you will be able to get them. That is how they are vulnerable. The air vents.
True. But something that occurred to me with this, and it's it's middle of October. It's the spooky season. Time for
it is
time for dress up, as it were. I think that ice could do one of the funniest fucking things right now.
Oh yeah?
I think it's time for the ice bears. And the ice bear stare. I think that we can bring all the ice bears together and use their combined powers of love and caring to
I think
to defeat
to that
the
point,
Antifa menace.
I think just the Care Bears would be pretty fucking funny.
I mean, there's so much good, hilarious advertising opportunities that are not being capitalized on right now.
The sad thing is, if you put it in that framework, immediately you're going to have some really angry Antifa people. Maybe it should be put in that framework specifically.
Well, that's exactly it. The angrier they get, the dumber the shit they do is. So,
well, that's the thing. I think that maybe that'll work to the advantage there because, you mentioned capitalizing on things, and how much do they really want to do that? Except for their acronym. Whenever they get a chance to, they always capitalize their acronym.
Well,
I mean, yes, that is exactly as dumb as it sounds when I say that out loud.
So, obviously, we are the good guys, and we do the good things. So, if you're against the good guys, obviously you're a bad guy. So, come join our group, the good guys, so that you can be a good guy.
God, the good guy squad thing is just so dumb.
But unfortunately, it is the most perfect explanation for Antifa's word games, because that's literally the very heart and soul of their word games. No, we're anti-fascists. It's in the name.
Yeah, it's just Antifa, just anti-fascism.
Well, I don't understand. One of the things from like a human psychology perspective, the left is, and I've talked about this before, where I think it's kind of a social reorganization of morality and moral cognizance and like intellectual development, and the left and the right have bifurcated. And it's not just like, it's not that the right is right, it's just that the right seems to be capable of more complex thought than the left is.
Sure.
Sure.
That's not to say that there aren't smart people on the left. It's just most of the left-wing talking points are one-dimensional.
Most of them are not, though. Yeah. No, you're 100% on point here. The fact is, most people on the left are not complex people.
That's not to say that there aren't dumbass people on the right. There are.
No, there are. There are absolutely.
President Trump is on the right.
Yes. I just say, like, the preponderance is pretty self-evidently. The left has problems eating cereal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tying shoes, eating cereal.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Asking him to determine the difference between right and wrong, I mean, that's a heavy lift.
They don't know what the fuck a man or a woman is.
They don't even know the difference between right and left, much less right and wrong. So understand what you're working with.
It's modeling clay that's already been hardened.
Yeah. Speaking of hardened organizations, there's one that we've mentioned a number of times in the past, which has of late started to get a little bit of coverage, a little bit of eyes on them. That's long deserved. As well, though, there is a government watchdog by the name of the Center to Advance Security in America. And they have filed a formal complaint to the IRS urging them to revoke the tax-exempt status of the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Good. Fuck them.
Well, absolutely. Their argument being that the SPLC labels innocent people as hate groups, equating normal, traditional,
whatever process they claim to have for making the distinction on people is clearly lacking and does not deserve any government support vis-a-vis lack of taxation.
And they're
clearly
literally
biased.
Had Turning Point USA on their hate map as a source of violence, as opposed to a victim of it.
As opposed to a sink of it, yes.
So it'll be something that it's been a long time coming to see the ADL and the SPLC even get just a taste of what they're long due is well received, because they're just quoting here from that. American taxpayers should not be expected to subsidize an organization that engages in daily attacks on Republicans, compares those who hold mainstream conservative beliefs to the KKK, and who consistently labels conservatives as engaging
Well, it's
in
weird
hate
that they would do that
without any reference to any
because
other
the
political parties or
KKK.
ideology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the
Weird that they
KKK,
would.
there's a
Yeah.
little video that was going around that I believe from one of the more recent Mafia games, and somebody was getting clowned on for it, like they wouldn't be able to make this game in the current year. It's like, well, yeah, Democrats get offended by that shit. And then we find out, as a matter of fact, that literally happened because there was meant to be an Assassin's Creed, a pro-Republican Assassin's Creed set in the South with,
Sure.
big Republican themes of freed black men fighting against the Democrat KKK. And it got axed. It didn't go through because I wonder why a certain demographic might have been upset by that. Oh.
Well, I want to be like, the funny thing is that would have probably been an excellent Assassin's Creed game.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Probably.
But the reason they can't make that game is because they decided to have their black samurai. They couldn't turn around and not have their gay black samurai. And so because they couldn't just resist for a minute having their gay black samurai for the Japanese game, they don't get to really make a Civil War game because everybody's going to institutionally react to it as if it's a cultural thing, because they've already chosen to inject culture into their politics and culture.
Well, you see, then you have to have the gay black guy in the South.
Yep. Like, and that's the thing. Like,
that's gonna go over so well.
That's the sad part about this is not that necessarily like the sad part in this whole entire thing is that now we don't get to explore those kinds of themes. I haven't played Assassin's Creed in forever. And it's not that I have an issue with it in any way, shape, or form. It's just all of those games take a lot of time. They explore a very interesting aspect of history, and like I just don't have the time to sink into it, right? Like the French one did the French Revolution, that was kind of interesting, and the British one I didn't get to really play it that much. Got to go through the Caribbean and the privateers.
The games have also been somewhat lackluster since the first three.
That is true. I never played the first three. I heard they were amazing. I think I came in at Black Flag. And I played Black Flag and whatever the French one was. And I thought they were great. But I didn't have experience with the first three games. So I'm not saying neither here nor there, but like that could have been a really good one. Like they could have really explored some cool shit there. And because they decided to sacrifice the Japanese game, they no longer get to make something that would objectively have been cool, and that's unfortunate.
Speaking of sacrificing the Japanese game, we should probably make a quick mention of Sucker Punch Studios and their recently launched title. That is not exactly a viral hit. It's got some players here and there, but it's not really...
Which one is this?
Exactly. Ghosts of Yotei.
Yes, the one that everyone is apparently talking about, even though no one's talking about it.
Yeah, it's it certainly is a game.
I guess we'll talk about it.
So,
well, you see, here's the thing: is the big thing everyone talks about is how beautiful it looks. It's such a piece of art. It's like that's cool. What about the game?
No. It's got all these cool side things, like you can fish. Did you know that you can cut the grass?
You can cook. I heard.
I hear. I don't know if it has a story. No one's mentioned that, but
no one's mentioned the fucking gameplay itself. Like the fact that I can cook in the game is cool, but what about the combat mechanics?
Wait, are you saying that you can?
What about the storyline? What the plot?
You can run around.
I heard it looks great.
Cook as a woman in Japan in the feudal times. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. It's
whoops, hitting the miss, swinging a miss.
Well, and I want to like there's a lot of aspects for gaming that have been really unfortunate. I know we've mentioned, we lived in pretty cool times. Any of us who are in the millennial thing, because we got to go back to like 2006 to 2008, where we finally achieved this kind of processing power to really get good polygons into games and really get good visual graphics, like huge improvements. If you go N64 versus the GameCube, huge improvements. If you're talking PlayStation versus PlayStation 2, big improvements. PlayStation 2 versus
Super
3,
Nintendo
big
to
improvements.
GameCube, or Super Nintendo to N64 was
right. Like we got to see
giant.
We got to see these huge graphical improvements where we got to see people have more and more art involved in these games, and all of a sudden, like, you know, you go back to the processing power. The processing power allowed for really cool storytelling, like Modern Warfare, like the Modern Warfare series, where you go in, where you go in and you got to be the character that died, and like that was a thing. Like people were amazed that they killed off the main character, because 9 times out of 10 you're a fucking super soldier. And Modern Warfare made the point that you're like, there are people who are out there fighting and dying, and that's what war is. And that was like the whole theme of the game was that war kind of sucks and it's real, and like you don't want to be part of it. And those are like, there's a lot of really cool exploration that happened in the 2006 to 2008 time frame. And then processing power got a little bit better, not greatly better, but a little bit better, and they just created all this fucking bloat. Well, actually, I don't even think its processing power really got that big. Storage got cheap, and so they started filling their games with bloat,
shit.
with all kinds of crap. Yeah. All kinds of crap. And so, like, and don't get me wrong, you know, the first couple games that came out that were these open world games with a lot of little things to go do in the game, especially when it was a well-written game, like some of the Far Cry series, that really pioneered that.
It isn't even like the objectives either. It's like you get these optimization became less of a thing.
Yep.
And so your games became crap. Like they don't care about doing good optimization. They don't care about, like, just graphical optimization is one. Because if you have good graphical optimization, that is like responsible for a stupid amount of the space that's required is just having unoptimized meshes.
Yep.
Somebody was clowning on Pitchford just recently over Borderlands, because they've got a brand new thing that they're building, and they're getting like 100 FPS, and it looks gorgeous. And Pitchford can't manage to get like 20 without MLAA, you know?
Well, you know, and you can see the other thing is too, when you start talking about all this storage space, they just filled it with bloat. Like there's mini games have always been a thing, right? You can go back to PlayStation 1 and Final Fantasy 8, there was a whole card game in there that was actually pretty good. Like it was actually a nice strategic card game. You had the same kind of thing with Witcher 3. Witcher 3 had its own little mini game that you could go play and earn cards for and stuff like that. A lot of really cool concepts for non video game games within video games that they got to just explore this stuff. And then all of a sudden it became like all about the mini games, and they stopped making stories. Stories went from these 100-hour playthroughs to 20 hours.
The standard game target for the past 15, 20 years has been about a 40-hour gameplay, which is fair, and that's averaging across all genres here. So like there's going to be the genres that go for 100-hour, the genres that go for like 20 hours.
There are way more 20-hour games than there are anything else.
But you expect on average to get on the order of 40-odd hours of gameplay out of the game, and the thing is, like, that used to be about $1 an hour. And it's not anymore. That's the other thing. You see how quickly they went from a $60 game, a $60 cart, mind you, back
a piece of equipment you could hold in your hand and last forever.
Pre-COVID, $60 cart to $100 download only.
Yep.
Which, you know, of course, Pitchford's brilliance was, they'll buy it if they want it. It's like, well, one, fucking duh. But two, that tells me that you don't care about customers, or you don't care about having attracting customers. You care about squeezing your existing customers, which is just not going to be a long-term benefit.
I actually disagree with that, right? Like if it cost, so there's going to be some inflation, right? There's going to be some of that. The gaming market's gotten a lot bigger. There's a lot more developers. There's a lot more skill. There's theoretically more complexity to video games.
Yeah, that should all drive costs down. Not up.
Some of it will. Some of it will, right?
All of that. Like just. If you have more devs and stuff, like more devs, meaning a more diverse market of expertise, that should drive costs down. If you have more games out there, that should drive costs down for market competition. It's supposed to be driving costs down.
A lot of that stuff. So it's not going to necessarily drive costs down, but what it should do is drive that cost quality benchmark, that cost of performance benchmark down, right? Like so. So the problem that you have is that that's not what we've seen. We've seen the cost of games go up, and there isn't a comparable quality to them. Like where, I think Battlefield 6
just hours. We should be getting
hours
for $100. I should be getting 100 hours.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yep.
Keep in mind, like there are free to play games out there that I have thousands of hours in, like PlanetSide 2. That used to be $15 a month.
Well,
and I would get my 15 hours a month at least. And now it's free to play, and you still get tons of hours out of it.
That's kind of the thing is MMOs there was some real good innovation in the MMO market, and then that kind of fell off with.
Well, World of Warcraft used to be like the MMO, like that was.
They broke that.
World of Warcraft, Eve Online was a big one.
Oh, Eve. I love Eve. It's still got about 30,000 people, but it's nowhere near what it used to be.
Like Lineage 2 used to be a freaking epic game, and that has unfortunately kind of crashed and burned because it went Chinese. Yeah. Like there's like MMOs used to be like the place to go if you wanted to get bang for buck.
Oh yeah,
because you would get 15 bucks a
really
month.
Decent free ones out there.
Exactly, but back when it was all paid, like $15 a month, you get at least 15 hours a month of entertainment. At least.
I mean, honestly, just about as much time as you want to put in, you could get entertainment out of.
And that was the thing, though, is like you would get crazy value for money. And for $100 game today, I should be getting at least 100 hours of content out of it. And that doesn't even mean like I need to have a 100-hour single play through. I should be able to go back and replay
Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously.
I should be able to go back and replay it. And like say Diablo 2, you got your basic 5 classes, and you got your different paths you can go on those classes. Like that's all replayability. And the fact is, you don't get that kind of like crazy replayability out of games these days. And again, the physical media issue is another big issue. The Switch 2, going and giving people physical media, but what does it have? It just has a fucking unlock key on it. It has a serial number. Like that's borderline criminal in my opinion.
The newest Elder Scrolls release, because of course there's going to be a new Elder Scrolls release. There's one every year, but the latest one comes with a physical disc, the collector's physical edition, physical box set with disc that does not contain the current game and cannot be played unless updated.
Right.
Like what the hell are we doing here?
Now, like, there's something to be said about a platform like Steam, and I love Steam. I'm worried about Steam as a customer, as I'm sure plenty of other people are with Gavin, who's going to be the successor. Again, I say, and I'm not one to want to do something like that, but I'll say I will happily keep Steam the way it is for the rest of my life if he hands the torch over, because basically it looks like print money and do nothing.
Yeah, kind of.
That's the Gavin way.
Yeah, my mild advancements. Work on a sequel
incremental,
every 20
small
years,
advancements,
and you're good.
Incremental, small advancments to the platform, and then you have to have every once in a while
the main
some cool
thing.
piece
of
for
tech
Valve.
Every decade and a half.
How about this? For Valve, I'll throw in one little extra bit on that one, because Valve and Steamworks are basically the same. As if I were to take Gavin's position as a successor, I would put forth that we need to have at least a Half-Life 2.5 come out in my lifetime. Maybe not Half-Life 3, but 2.9.
I am so sad that there is no Portal.
Yeah,
like we need a Portal 3.
I would like to see another. I'd like to see what happened with Shell, but I have got some news. There's nothing more to it than what I'm about to tell you. But from the sources I've seen, they are actually making it. Half-Life 3 will be a thing. From everything I understand at this time.
Well, it is a thing. The same way Rule 34 is. It's been memed into existence merely by its mentioning.
No, apparently Valve is genuinely working on it as a...
No, I believe you. I believe you. I'm just saying that in the same vein, Half-Life 4 is also a thing.
Take value onto that for what you will, but yeah.
No, that'll be interesting. It'll come out in Gavin's lifetime. That'll be cool.
Oh, and, speaking of Patriots and the Sons of Patriots, we should probably mention this one here. There's been a bit of an update out of the European Union. Obviously, they've got their cool digital ID and all that. Well, if you are planning as a Patriot or Sons of Patriots to travel to that land, you might have some trouble. They have declared that all U.S. citizens who refuse biometric digital ID will be barred from entry.
Oh,
and this is as of the 30th of September. So we'll have to see how that plays in the EUHCR, I guess.
Well, all I have to do is walk in and say Allahu Akbar.
True.
Then I can do whatever the fuck I want, apparently.
Well, it'd be racist not to let you do whatever you want.
Well, yeah, just,
Now, the downside, of course, would be that I might be assigned a cousin to go fuck. But I hear that has no issues whatsoever.
That. I mean, unless you, sign up with a local mosque or something, you're probably going to be fine. Pardon. But yeah.
It might push back and start saying "ba," but
well, again, I don't think you're assigned one of those. I think it's more about you have to go.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's what a sheep says. That's what a sheep says. That's what a sheep says, and sheep fuckers are Welsh. It's not Muslim. Excuse me.
I don't know. Goats. Yeah, sorry. Fair. Okay. But anyway, on a related note, sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell, or something like that. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Oh, behind every tree is a Muslim with his pants down and a goat screaming.
Who could say?
Sorry, every rock. I think that was what the prophecy said.
I wouldn't know. I'm not really much of a theologian, so that's kind of outside of my area of expertise.
Oh no, never mind. Sorry, it's every rock and trees will cry out, "Oh Muslim, there's a Jew hiding behind me. Come kill it."
Well, I don't have exactly a perfect segue, but no, I've got absolutely no segue at all. But anyway, Black Lives Matter. Well, yeah, actually, you know what? No, I do. Let's see here. How am I going to do this?
Is there going to be a Bureau of Land Management joke in there? Or?
Well, no. I'm just trying. I'm trying to think of how I can make this flow good, and I've already kind of fucked it up by talking about it. So I'll just go into it. So Black Lives Matter is suing notorious Nazi collaborator Jew George Soros and his Tides Foundation for what? For their rampant, I don't know, evil or whatever. No. For $33.4 million that they say they're owed. So what's happened here is they want their money. Where's my money, bitch? As it were. So they're suing the Tides Foundation over a, quote, missing $33 million. National Black Lives Matter movement has claimed $33.4 million of its cash is being withheld by one of its progressive partner organizations, the New York Post has learned. And, of course, I'll throw a link to that as well. But in the lawsuit, BLM Global Network Foundation accused the Tide Foundation of alleged, quote, deceptive business practices. No.
You know, this
me over
is
with
just,
a feather.
I was going to say, this we need to find a way to get hate monger like a voice for hate monger on this show, because that's one of those things where it's just you know, and humph.
Indeed. That would be a fine.
Yeah. By the way, Space King 3 came out recently.
Quality stuff. If
Very
you're
much
not
worth a
watching
watch.
Space King, definitely do. If you're not subscribed to Flash Gets, you should be, because that's where you need to go to learn about what you need to know about the 40K hobby. Trust me, they'll fill you in on the high points that are necessary to get through the gate, we'll say.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of which, gatekeeping, always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gatekeep
Don't
your
let
hobbies,
just
friends.
any random freak into your hobby to tell you how to run your hobby. Fuck them. It's your hobby for a reason.
Also, on that note, as open as your church might be, maybe just keep the doors closed, because, you might be in a cathedral, maybe in Washington, D.C., maybe St. Matthew's Cathedral, for instance, with all your friends on the Supreme Court. And, you might be there to have the annual Red Mass that they do, which is, kind of a thing to end the year and such. And then, you might have a guy show up with some, 200 or so explosives. So that might be something worth considering. But for those that somehow might have missed this story, on the first Monday in October, the U.S. Supreme Court begins its new term, and they have a meeting at St. Matthew's Cathedral, have for some while. And it would appear that this man, this leftist fellow with a manifesto and many, many, many explosives, a Louis Jerry from Vineland, New Jersey, facing preliminary charge of unlawful entry, threats to kidnap or injure a person. Oh, it was Molotovs. There you go. So he has been possession of a Molotov cocktail, apparently more than 200. So there haven't been other updates to that from this specific source. Let me see. No, but there very well might be more, because apparently they did find a manifesto and some other things as well. So not much more that I can tell you about it, but things are a little crazy. And the one thing I kind of can say is, said it last week, might get worse before it gets better. But as mentioned just earlier in the show, people are starting to comprehend and understand some of these more complex topics that are genuinely necessary to understand how things are broken and how broken things are. Because we're far away from where we once started as a country. And might not even ever be able to make it back, but we can at least try and build something, good, worthwhile out of it. And on that note, there's a very possibility that, a very strong possibility, I should say, that we might be welcoming some of our Canuckistani brothers in from the cold. Quebec and Ontario are having second thoughts about being Canadian, even.
Again?
Repeatedly, it seems.
Say that again?
Okay.
Quebec and Ontario are is it?
They're talking about stopping being part of Canada.
Yeah, and
which is hilarious.
And people in the Trump administration have basically signaled their willingness to work with them.
Wait, hold on. Quebec and Ontario, those are the people we don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Alberta.
Yeah, Alberta, and like maybe BC. There's like a lot of places in Canada. I thought it was Alberta, because the two there's two. There is a motion for a referendum to like split that, and I thought it was Alberta, and there was one other one. I can't remember who, but they didn't want to be part of Ontario because Ontario is not representing their interests. They're basically just taking all of their money and telling them to go fuck off. But if it's Quebec and Ontario, no, we don't want the French. First and foremost. Second,
Alberta.
Outside of the problem with being Frenchies, they are like the hardest of hardcore liberals.
No, you see, you're missing something here.
Oh, Quebec and Alberta.
We don't have to evict them.
We
don't have to evict them as a state. We don't have to evict them as states. We can just make them territories.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then watch them cry about it.
Thing, you know?
You can watch them cry about it, like, because that's the thing is, it'll be so much funnier to watch them show up at our joint session and bitch and moan about not having a vote while still not voting to become a state. Well, and if they do it in a French accent, I would laugh so much harder.
Yeah, well, that would be fun.
I mean, to be honest, like, I do believe in manifest destiny, right? I think the biggest mistake the U.S. made was reining it in and not slowly but surely acquiring more territory.
Hey, man, make America great again.
Right. Trump should have bought Greenland.
Oh,
that's how that should have gone down.
We still got 3 years for him to do that, man. It's gonna happen.
And that is my
mistake.
That
should be his lame duck maneuver.
There is talk
of that,
a
fucking war with the Danish.
Just to clarify, by the way, I was wrong on that. It's not Ontario. It's Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That
okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Fucking Ontario and Quebec.
Now, that said, Ontario is still doing their thing. They're still Ontario and Quebec are still doing their fucking.
Alberta and Saskatchewan are like the Texas, and Florida of Canada. We should absolutely join them in the union.
I think it's so these two things are huge economic powerhouses for all of Canada.
Oh yeah, it's like
I believe Alberta is all of their oil.
Alberta's #1,
and Saskatchewan is all of their farming.
Yeah, sorry, my bad on that. Getting the wrong provinces. Yeah.
Thank you. We're checking it over again.
Yeah.
No. So Alberta is like all of the money, and yes, we should totally admit them as states.
Yeah.
And Saskatchewan is all of the food. Yeah. Those two, 100%.
Here's the funniest part: is Canada would probably threaten war, and we would just be able to.
Good luck, bitch.
I don't know. You know,
it's like they would send the Mounties into Alberta, and we would just be sitting there like, you know what? We heard you have oil here. We're here to give them some freedom. And what are they gonna do? Be unhappy with us?
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I apologize to you, sir, but this is not appropriate. It's like, that's okay. Welcome to America. This is not America. It's Canada. Well, it's America now.
Well, I mean, it would be great.
Oh my god!
I would very much like. I would very much like to see those two territories.
That'd be a strong addition to the United States, definitely.
Come into the U.S. And even if they were like purples, that would still be great. I would be very excited for that.
We should take all of Canada.
And to be fair, they kind of aren't.
If you start talking about strategically, right, like the northern parts of Canada are strategically valuable.
Yeah.
It would be really, really valuable.
It
would be really, really valuable to put a sub base.
A northern transit. That's the reason why we want Greenland, by the way, is we want a northern transit.
Yukon and British Columbia. That would be the entirety, completely, of our western coast. Every inch of it.
Yeah, there is like the thing is that proper investment in the northern reaches of Canada,
it's gonna be a motherfucker.
They're basically almost uninhabitable, right?
Yeah,
but
not friendly places.
Not friendly places. But what is this? Is this
a lot of resources
right
though?
Now. That's Manitoba, so that's Saskatchewan, and I think Alberta. That's Calgary. BC. Where is Alberta? I'm trying to remember.
Where's Alberta?
Yeah, where's Alberta? I remember that was out west.
Oh, in British Columbia, isn't it?
Is it?
No. Alberta's next to British Columbia. It's like British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba.
Alberta. Yeah, there it is. Alberta and Saskatchewan. So that's basically, we wouldn't get any coastline with them, which is unfortunate. Maybe. I don't know. Alone is filmed just to the north of Alberta and Saskatchewan. What the fuck is this territory? Who owns this?
Oh, it's all Canadian up there up until you get into Greenland.
I know, but like, I guess it's the Northwest Territories is what they call it.
Yeah.
It's just everybody else.
Yeah, that is literally what they call it, just the Northwest Territories.
Yeah. But that would be, so we wouldn't get any coastline with that, which is unfortunate. I thought that he did, but apparently not. Apparently that's the Northwest Territories. I just didn't even think there were real people up there. But that would match up with pretty much everything all the way to Idaho, I think is it? I think it goes out to Idaho. So it'd be it's border Montana and North Dakota and Minnesota, which is actually really great for a lot of lake stuff there.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, that'd be pretty great.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty great.
It'd be an excellent addition. Welcome aboard.
Uranium
Save
City.
them from the gun grab they're having to go through right now with the help of CZ Colt Canada. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
There's a place called Uranium City. A lot of stuff there.
I wonder what kind of cool stuff they have there.
I don't know.
Perhaps spicy rocks. Perhaps.
Yeah. So that would be a good territorial asset to gain.
Certainly.
Strategic reserves and all that.
You could say that. You certainly could. Oh, speaking of strategies, we should probably go back to something else that we were talking about earlier, and of course the fleeing Antifas. Well, a number of their financial backers, advisors, kind of their muckety-mucks. We still don't really know a lot about the upper parts of the organization, as it is a fairly shadowy organization. But a man by the name of Mark Bray, an author and financier.
Oh, I know about him.
Yes. He wrote a book called The Antifa Handbook. Has fled to Europe. It's believed that he is in Spain at this time. And
Antifa doesn't have any leaders.
But yeah, he was until recently, and officially still is employed at Rutgers University as a professor. He's taught at Dartmouth. Of course he has.
Whoa. Sorry.
And he's actually been rebuked at one occasion for his endorsement of political violence.
That he has, at least once.
But also, there's an organization, a specific subchapter, if you want to use the term, of Antifa by the name of Rose City Antifa. Honestly, one of the more famous subgroups.
That's basically the main one in PNW.
Pretty much, yeah. So one of the reasons that they've been so pernicious is because, much like many of these terror organizations, their leadership was not so much seemingly non-existent as incredibly hard to identify or track down. Well, that has just changed, because a man by the name of Johan Victorin and his wife Carolyn Victorin have been living in Sweden. And they have been found in a city by the name of Varberg. And my hope is that...
So, just to recap on that one real quick. Mm-hmm. The Victrins were the people who flew in from Europe to help train Antifa in the U.S. and the PNW.
Oh,
those two motherfuckers are the foreign influence, by the way. Those two motherfuckers are the foreign influence that we've spoken about before. That's one of the primary reasons, aside... there's still other foreign influences involved. Like, that's one of those primary reasons to declare them a foreign terrorist organization, is because the Victrins, who are in fact foreign fucking terrorists, came here to the USA to train our domestic terrorists.
Most certainly did.
Like that they are the European Antifa contingent. That militance is largely of European origin. That's why they are so militant here, is because the Victrins came over with their little group of buddies from Germany, the German Antifa. They brought in, those are fucking hardline communists. Brought some of them over here, trained our guys, and then left.
No less.
Yeah, exactly. They're militant ANCOMs. Anarcho-communists. Like, these are not friendly people. They should not be here. They should not be treated nicely here. They need to be kicked the fuck out or arrested. And so designating them as foreign terrorist organizations is the smartest move, and it is the easiest thing for Trump to do. Like, there is plenty of prima facie pro se to go on.
Yeah, it's an open and shut thing. I mean, if anyone wants to try and take it to the courts, you're going to get shut down. The DOJ is going to win that case.
I hope it happens.
Yeah. Oh, it will. It will. But it's an easy one to win. Like the domestic terror organization, there's not a lot of real tools that exist for that. And anything that you do is going to have to work its way up the courts, because you're not going to be able to get away with it because they're just not going to let you. But with a foreign terror organization designation, man, the gates are open wide. We have military, we have intelligence assets, we have finance assets, we have auditors that can go after every single dime that passes through a single American entity's hands. There's quite a lot we can and will be able to do with that. So this next week might be quite interesting in how things play. And in a speaking of Germany, here's a little bit of a fun update. We've got the Alternative for Deutschland polling. This will be as of the 5th, so it'll be interesting to see what that is come next week. But as of the 5th, they're polling at 26%. Number one. The nearest is the CDU. That's Merkel's people at 24%.
Yeah.
And the socialists are now at 14%. The left are at 12%, and the Greens are at
Good.
11%. Absolutely. They deserve nothing.
Like, AFD is going to have its issues. But the socialists have so fucked Germany. I guess the thing is Germany was in such a terrible position when it went Nazi. Like, that was kind of their recourse, and that was what made Hitler, like,
and to
that
be
was what
fair,
made Hitler
we've kind
look
of
so
seen
popular.
some of the books that they were burning, and
some of the books, sure, like a small selection of them. Like some of those books needed to go. Sure.
Weimar was a very progressive.
Weimar
place.
was a republic, I guess.
Speaking of fascism, the merger of corporations and government, Apple has folded, and they have turned themselves into a complete government dog and mouthpiece. No.
Oh yeah.
No, they removed the ICE tracking app because the Trump administration was like, "You're literally getting our fucking guys killed. What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh, so you're not going to cover the part where they gave the UK backdoor access to everybody's accounts? Who has any contact with the UK?
Well,
Just, by the way, you can be an American. By the way, you can be an American, and if you have regular contact with someone in the UK through your Apple iDevice or whatever, your iCloud account, you talk to somebody from the UK, you exchange information with them. Well, the UK is entitled to your information in connection with that person. Because that's the contract Apple decided to sign.
Good people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they could have just said, like, we're an American company. Who gives a flying fuck what you think? But, I guess they wanted to keep their Apple iStore in the UK. They thought that was more important than integrity as an American company. Which you'd think that they could be an American company and do business over there, but I guess not. Why couldn't they have like a subsidiary over there? I don't know. You have to take that up with Apple.
Yeah, indeed. And just, it makes one wonder. Curiouser and curiouser, you could say. And speaking, well, I don't know, it's not all that curious. It's completely unsurprising. But I would like to mention this. This is from, a while ago. Jeez, like, we didn't get to cover it in the last show. Or maybe we did. And, well,
I got about 5 more minutes left of me here, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no worries. But as of October 4th, 2025, the Virginia Beach Democratic Committee reaffirms its full support of Jay Jones for Attorney General. We are lined up, 10 toes down, ready to organize, mobilize, and deliver voters for Jay and our entire Democratic ticket. Now, obviously, this is
hashtag BLM.
No, actually, hashtag 10 toes down for Jones. Hashtag.
Oh, God.
Mayoris, not your cup of tea. What the fuck ever. Okay, I don't know. Yes, they did include some hashtags, but there's been no change, no update to that statement.
Oh, speaking of hashtags.
Where it is? Yeah.
Speaking of hashtags. Hashtags are now defunct in search on X. Well, hashtags can still serve as a search thing, and they're clickable, etc. They are no longer privileged or promoted above keyword searches.
Indeed.
Which, frankly, they're that shouldn't have been like. It's not really a big revelation.
Yeah.
But as far as trends and so on, they're no longer. They're no longer. What the hell is it called?
They're no longer
first person
preferenced, I guess.
Yeah, sure. They're no longer they're not preferential.
Boosted. That's what it is. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, they're not boosted in trends.
Yeah. So now this is I don't know. This is exactly the kind of shit that we're here to report, because we can be very irreverent at times, and have been, as a matter of fact, in reference to the person that I'm about to talk about. Yeah, it is kind of a matter of policy.
Uh-oh.
But there's a man that we've talked some shit about, and to be fair, had it coming. He did. But we're not there anymore. And those days have passed, and we're trying to be in better days. It's a man by the name of Ali Al-Jafari. Many may know him as Mr. Fafo, or the Palestinian of many faces. Well, he actually got
job
for real this time.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. And as it stands right now, there are not answers to who killed him. It might be Hamas people, it might be native Gaza militants, it might be Israelis. Don't know. But beyond all of this, beyond all of his bluster, beyond all of his acting, beyond everything, he wasn't an honest journalist, but he was a journalist.
No, he was an actor.
He was also an actor, but he was revealing true things.
I'm not going to call him a journalist.
And also untrue things. I'm just going to be honest here.
I'm not calling him a journalist.
I will put him on par with the journalists of today. As an
like
equal,
the one that got arrested outside the ICE facility?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd put him right on par with CNN. Absolutely. He could be a CNN guy. Totally. I would expect it. Okay. I would expect that kind of, level.
You know what?
But anyway.
I take that back. I think you're on point there. I think you could say right. he is apt. He would be apt as a CNN, MSNBC, BBC journalist.
He would fit. He'd be a natural there. But all bluster, all jokes aside, it's a human life. He was a person.
This is true.
And this shit's supposed to be done. The killing's got to stop, because
you see, I'm not gonna feel terrible for a person who would be happy if I was dead.
Fair enough, same, but the killing needs to stop.
Well, and I think that there was that stalker case where that crazy dude stalked these two girls, And people are like, why isn't MAGA calling this out? And I was like, you know what? I have no moral problem with saying this is a terrible thing. However,
right?
This is also the world that they literally were promoting. So
wow,
how
that
much
bed you made looks really uncomfortable. Why'd you make it that way?
Right, exactly. Like, I'm not saying that that's the way things should be, but if that is the world that you want to live in, and you live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing.
Why are you making the world so shitty? Quit it. But
yeah, it's again like, the guy as I said, apt would be his position as a journalist at CNN, MSNBC, ABC, BBC, NBC. Like, just if he truly got and it's not just getting more Hollywood.
No, he really did, and there aren't answers
again.
But you know what everybody over there's saying.
Yeah, they're saying the Jews did it.
Yeah, and to be fair, we genuinely don't have answers. I tried to find any. There aren't, and it's not. And I'll be honest, from what I've found so far, it doesn't look like Israel was responsible for this.
It probably weren't.
Take of that what you will.
They want the ceasefire to go through. I'm guessing that, again, this is one of those things where it could be they just dressed up a body like him and, gave it enough face paint.
I mean, maybe. It's possible. But,
I'm hoping that they aren't that. I would say that I hope that they aren't that crass, but they are. Like, just by their history over there, that's just the way that it runs.
Fair. That is not inaccurate. So anyway,
I mean,
but
if that with little babies, they're gonna do that with him.
It is what it is, and people in Israel are celebrating, people in Gaza are celebrating, and we here at the Fake Untitled podcast are happy that things might actually finally see an end. Because
I hope they actually go down the road of the Abraham Accords. And they managed, because they're talking about roping in this fucking hell. Speaking of which, the Qatari contingent that they want to bring in for the Air Force here.
Oh yeah, quick note: not an Air Force base, one building on an already established Air Force base for the purposes.
That's
of
called
training
yeah. My wife actually raised 22. That to me. She's like, "What the hell's going on there?"
On that, it's a technicality, but that is a base.
Oh yeah, it will have a base, but it's not,
But it's us renting out a room to them. It's us renting out a building.
And this is something that was started under the Biden administration.
That's the other thing, yes.
Yeah, also that, yes.
That's I think the key thing, because I've seen this a lot. Like, the left is like, here's thing that you should react to, and in almost all of the cases, it's a thing where you just, if you don't know and you don't look up what's going on.
These things aren't done.
There's usually nothing's done in like a 6-month span.
This is not that kind of agreement is something that's done over multiple years.
Right.
And what do you know? It was done over multiple years.
Yep.
Wham.
Like the airplane, for example, the airplane that he's going to get from Qatar. That's an agreement that was done over multiple years. Yeah, that wasn't something that they just decided to do with Donald Trump.
Yep.
No, it was the culmination of an earlier agreement. Precisely that. So, just guys, on a just
like all the fucking Bidenites taking credit for the CHIPS Act after they decided to take the fucking Trump CHIPS Act, and gut it. It's like, okay, guys.
and then we, as a matter of fact, we reported on how well it worked after being modified.
Yeah.
As a,
I don't modify it further.
The what is it? I saw something. Newsom posted something about, oh my God, look at beef prices are up, and I knew nothing about beef. So I sat there and I said, okay, why are beef prices up? And you look into it, it's like there's a 2-year life cycle on fucking cows.
Yeah.
Right. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a 2-year life cycle between the time the cow is raised.
Ago, huh?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. It's the same goddamn thing that happened with the price of eggs, and you notice that they're not harping on that anymore. There's a reason for that too.
Well, and eggs come down a lot faster.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because again, 2 years versus like 3 months.
Right.
Like chickens have a remarkably short lifespan when it comes to the food industry.
Oh, and
on a farm,
I have
on a
some
farm, like it's a little different, but
news.
inside of an industrial,
I have some actual breaking news right now. I mean, it only breaking to the one or two folks listening, but this will go up shortly, and it'll be pertinent then. Red Cross vehicles are now moving through Khan Yunis in Gaza, and the preparations are being made for the hostage exchange.
Well, Red Cross or Red Cross, Red Crescent?
Red Cross.
All right.
So
the combo org is different from the solo org, if you will.
No, it appears to be specifically Red Cross. It doesn't. I don't see Red Crescent.
So that's probably Red Cross Europe then.
Probably, but update.
Yeah. No, so I was saying is like the lifespan of a chicken in industry, in an industrial scale farm is way different from the lifespan of a chicken on like a ranch farm. Like we're talking about the difference between like 3 to 6 months and like 5 years.
Yep. But like crazy. Cows are 2 years, right? Like, yeah, and
cows a 2 year cycle.
That's a long time. So whatever was happening 2 years ago matters, but whatever's happening now does not.
Well, you see, again, like always, and it's fucking stupid how this is. Like, eventually, there's going to be a smart enough audience of people, in general, not like specific to like our show or whatever. Like in general, like for news orbs, eventually there's going to be a smart enough audience where this idea that your audience is just stupid can evaporate. Because Democrats rely exclusively on how stupid of the audience they assume their audience is.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
And the fact is, people have gotten smarter because that's why they were all pissed off at them earlier this year.
Well, and again, going back to that, that's kind of the thing that you notice with the government shutdown, right? Yeah. Like they used to be able to be like, "Oh, look at the value of the government," and now there's a whole lot of people who are like, "Nah."
Well, that's the
I don't
thing
think you do that much.
That's the thing is the internet exists and they keep behaving like it doesn't, and so whenever people are like, "Yeah, but you said this literally 3 weeks ago," and they try to pretend like it didn't happen, it's like you can't do that anymore. You haven't been able to do that for a long time, but like it's specifically becoming one of those issues that you can't just ignore at this point. The internet history exists, and so the living memory of your dumb shit is in people's minds. People are able to summarize exactly how much of a hypocritical fuckwit you've been very quickly these days.
If they care to.
Like
but yeah.
Nadler and Schumer being disgusting hypocrites. Like Schumer especially with the whole illegal immigration issue. Illegal aliens sucking up our resources.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Like his previous speeches have become very important in people's minds of recent. AOC doesn't have that same kind of history, but she parrots his same talking points. So it's really funny. There you go.
Yeah, it's quite the
we
thing.
We are well past pumpkin time.
Indeed. So let's share some good news, bad news. If you were a fan of Lost Prophets, well,
that's a good one.
Okay. If you were a fan of Lost Prophets and Hate Children, I've got some bad news for you. If you're neither of those or even just one of those, probably some good news. This man by the name of Ian Watkins was the head of that organization, the singer, actually. He got in prison by some guys that don't like it when you get with kids. There you go. It's unfortunate that it had to happen that way, but there you go. Anyway, lost and gone. Speaking of, on a related note, Democrat North Carolina State Representative Cecil Brockman has been arrested and charged with the rape of a minor aged 13 to 15. Well, I can only hope that they put him in the same kind of facility as Mr. Watkins. I think that he will be welcome there and treated with the respect due an individual of that type. So, looking forward to your Looking forward to your sentencing, Representative Brockman. Definitely for that. Let me see here. We covered the Ken Paxton's investigate. Did we? I don't know. I might not have mentioned it. Ken Paxton's investigating Discord because of their complacence in lots of shit, but specifically in allowing everything that happened behind the scenes with the Charlie Kirk killing, which, by the way, no real updates. I can only hope that there is work being done to look into that network, because there is a network behind that guy. Tyler Robinson did not act alone. And it's a little out there, but there's a possibility that he wasn't the shooter, because his boyfriend and he share a very similar build. So it could be that. I mean, who fucking knows? But whatever. Anyway, we've got something else here. We've got the 5704. I covered that. Man, good news with Gaza. Jeez. Anna Paulina Luna has been speaking directly with Kirill Dmitriev, and apparently Melania has had direct relations, not physical, people, with Vladimir Putin. So back channels are being kept open. There's some decent things that are happening right now. We've got an update out of the FBI, or I should say, sorry, about the Treasury Department. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is at this time, this is an announcement, as of the 8th, that the entirety of the Antifa financial structure is being mapped out. And, well, you really only need to do that when you're going to bring RICO statutes in. I look forward to it. So again, links will be below to the Antifa Roundtable. A lot of stuff there. But of course, just reading directly from the transcript, Attorney General Pam Bondi, just like we did with cartels, we're going to make the same approach. President Trump with Antifa. Destroy the entire organization from the top to the bottom. We're going to take them apart. Great. Can't wait. So, last bit of... Well, we're the number one show in our sector for a reason. So, OPSEC. Good news, bad news. It's as bad as you ever fucking imagined. Possibly even worse. If you got a spare $500, that's all it took to get all that Discord data. Somebody just dropped their WhatsApp handle in one of the work groups, and in some shithole countries, $500 is a whole lot of money. And so they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. And that is why the Discord leak happened. It was $500. Long and short here, what happened here? Yeah, they got in touch with somebody who worked at one of the outsourced contractors, like one of the third world contractors. Offered him $500, which, in middle of nowhere India, a lot of money. Maybe Singapore, maybe whatever. Cheap labor. Maybe ain't so cheap, Maybe not. And then I've got a whole shitload of bad news about Qualcomm, about Boeing, about a number of companies, Microsoft, a number of others, that are apparently quite infiltrated by Indians. There's genuinely too much to even go over, but it's something that we'll want to cover in the near future because a number of folks are kind of noticing. So let's see. Have I got a good closer? Yeah, I have got a good closer, a real good closer. I've got one out of the Virginia Law Enforcement Sheriff's Association, a statement, as a matter of fact. The Law Enforcement Association represents the interests of the 86 sheriffs across the state that provide primary law enforcement services. We are aware that you are, this is addressed to Jay Jones. We are aware that you are running for a public office as the Attorney General, which is the chief law enforcement officer in the state of Virginia. Our association has seen the text messages in which you called for violence against a family, to include his young children. Furthermore, it is alleged that you stated if more police were killed, it would reduce shootings of civilians. This call for violence against a family of the Commonwealth of Virginia and law enforcement is disgusting and unacceptable. We will not follow an individual who has made such vile statements against citizens and the men and women in uniform who work hard every day, risking their lives to combat the violence you advocate against them. Sir, you need to hold yourself accountable and immediately withdraw from the Attorney General race. Sincerely, etc., etc. It'll be interesting. Oh yeah, the other one, Johnny Climate Change. He got arrested in Florida. The guy who set the Palisades fire. Yep, Johnny Climate Change. They finally got him. He was, I think it was in Ocala, but yeah, they got the guy that set the climate change fires in the Palisades. So yeah, there we go. There's some. Oh, by the way, absolute fucking specimen. Everything you would ever guess. Even got some Joker posts. But yeah, there we go. Hey, that's a damn fine way to end the night. Two good spots. Fellas, is there anything you guys were wanting to cover before we pack it in?
No.
Sweet. Well, been a pleasure, everyone. Of course, share this show with everyone and everywhere. Rest in peace, Kaya. You had a good run. You deserve better. And, well, I'm Evan at The Fake Guy Dan. That was Steve. You find him at Ratman720. You can find Craig at CraigBob99. And you can find the podcast at all the places. So share it everywhere. Share it with everyone. And by crikey, we'll be back again soon.